Hi, I am Kiana, owner, founder, and head builder here at Plush Moon Terrarium Co. And I wanted to walk you guys through how to build one of our shrimp ecosystem kits. Let's get started. So when you guys open up your kit, there's going to be a couple of things in here. You're going to have your Chaeto. We call it Chaeto because it's more fun. Chaeto is the correct pronunciation, but it is a macroalgae that will grow within your shrimp ecosystem. And your shrimp will be able to graze on the biofilm and the algae that grows on top of it. The next thing that's going to be in your kit is some marine salt that you are going to mix with 1 gallon of distilled water only. Distilled water only. You'll also get some aragonite sand in your kit. This is going to be calcified sand for your shrimp's exoskeletons. You'll also receive a piece of coral fan. This will not come back to life, but at one point it was alive, and now it is a beautiful surface for more of that biofilm and algae to grow on for your shrimp. You'll also get a thermometer. You want to make sure that when you mix up the water, it is the correct temperature to put in your shrimp. We do not want to shock them from the water being too cold or too hot. You'll get your handy dandy shovel, of course, so you can scoop your sand and add it to your jar. And then, of course, we have to have some embellishments. So what we have here for you is lava rock. The lava rock, it has these beautiful cracks and crevices that are gonna be great for surface area, for more algae to grow on, and biofilm. There's a theme here, people, algae and biofilm. And so you'll get a couple pieces of lava rock in there. You also will get some shells because it needs to look like a brackish water pool. You'll get an assorted kind of shell. And of course, it would not be a shrimp ecosystem kit without the shrimp. So you will receive your shrimp in one of these beautiful little breather bags. We will not have it packaged with the other materials for the safety of the shrimp, but you will receive your shrimp at the same time in this beautiful little breather bag that allows for gas exchange during travel. First, let's get to the jar. Okay, so we have 3 jar options in front of us here. Now, we give you enough marine salt in your shrimp ecosystem kit to mix up 1 full gallon of distilled water. So we want to make sure that we have a jar that is going to be sufficiently sized for that. All of the options in front of us are going to be great jars for your 6 shrimp ecosystem. All right, so we're going to pick this jar. This is a beautiful option. We also want to make sure we have a lid. You'll notice on all of the jars that we had something closing it that is going to prevent evaporation in our shrimp ecosystem. So now that we have the jar, what we want to do primarily, we want to get our handy dandy jug of distilled water. We're not pouring this into the jar. Do not pour it into the jar, people. But what we're going to do so this has time to dissolve is we're going to put this entire cup of marine salt within our 1 gallon jug of water. All right, this is perfectly measured out, so you should have a salinity of around 1.010 for your shrimp. These are not freshwater shrimp, they're brackish water shrimp, so they will not survive in full freshwater and they will not survive in full salt water. So we want to make sure we give time for the salt to dissolve. So I'm going to give this a couple of shakes. I'm going to put it to the side. It's no longer just pure distilled water. What we have is a jug full of brackish water on its way. So as you can see, if you want to go a little bit larger than this, you can. The measurements we give you are just for your ease, so you can mix up that brackish water to the proper salinity without having a refractometer like we do. All right, so while that's mixing, we're going to come over to our aragonite sand and we're going to go ahead and pop this gal open like so. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna get your handy dandy shovel here, and we're gonna start adding in the aragonite sand. And if you're feeling impatient, just do it. All right, so there we go. Depending on the size of your jar, the height of your aragonite is going to change. What I will say is we just don't want to go higher than about an inch, inch and a half. But if you obviously have a wider jar, your layer is going to be thinner. If you have a bigger jar, your layer is going to be thinner. So just keep that in mind. I'm gonna go ahead, I don't think I'm gonna need this entire container, and that's fine because I'm already at about an inch. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my sand to the side. All right, now that we have our base in, what we want to do, and something fun you guys can do, is if you want to add a little depth, just like we do on our terrariums, you can add a little bit of a higher side so that it's not just flat all the way through. Kind of like you notice in the ocean, give it a little bit of topography. So now we're gonna come over to our lava rock. I typically love to put in the heaviest elements first, lighter elements at the end. It's completely up to you. So I'm gonna put in this really beautiful large piece of lava rock right here. And as I'm putting it in, I wanna just keep in mind that like I'm trying to create a structure for my shrimp. So I wanna make sure I'm not just dropping it in there. I wanna make sure that the way that I'm putting it in, you can see here, I'm kind of making almost like a little bridge in a sense from the natural lava rock formation. So we'll go ahead and put that in there, like so. And then we have our beautiful piece of coral fan. Now, something that's cool about the coral fan, if you want to keep it all like this, you can. If not, get your pair of scissors. And what you can do is you can actually cut it pretty easily to give yourself multiple pieces if you want to place it in just more than one place, just for visual purposes. And sometimes, you know, you don't want everyone hanging out on the same surface. So this will give everyone some space. Get your little shovel to make a little divot there. If it's not going in the way you need it to, put it down, and then you're gonna push your aragonite sand on top of it to weigh it down a little bit. That coral fan can be a little lighter weight. And then we have our handy dandy shells. The cut shells, if you get one like these guys you just drop in there. With the shells that are not cut like this, what'll happen is air will get trapped in there. So what we recommend is put this gal to the side for now until our water's ready so we can fill it up with some water and then drop it in there. All right, so now we're gonna come back to our brackish water mix, and we're going to make sure that we let it sit for about 24 hours just so everything dissolves like it needs to and we don't have any large salt clumps in there. Once you get that sitting for 24 hours, your shrimp will be perfectly fine in their breather bag, so you don't need to worry about them. Just put them in a safe place that your cats and dogs and children cannot get to. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take that handy dandy thermometer that we got for you, and we're going to put it in there to make sure that our temperature is between 65 and 80 degrees. If your temperature is colder than that, just please be aware that is too cold for the shrimp. 65 to 80 is their preferred parameter. We do not want to temperature shock them. So I'd let that sit in there for about 5 minutes just so it can measure out. So we're sitting at a 70 degrees here, and we're good to go. So feel free, just for safekeeping, give your jug of brackish water mix one more good rotation. Make sure it's all mixed up like it needs to be. And then what you can do, we have a pro tip. You can get a piece of plastic wrap, because if I was to pour all this right now in here, it would absolutely destroy everything I just worked so long on to build. All right, so you don't need that much, but yes, you can get just a simple piece of plastic wrap here. And what this is gonna do is it is going to disperse the pressure of the water as we pour it in here. So what you can do, go ahead and put your plastic down in there, like so. Then what we're gonna do is get our gallon of brackish water. We're gonna pour it in there. This will also help the sand not stir up too much. It's gonna be a little bit cloudy, but it is gonna clear up in the next 24 hours. Now we're gonna fill this up so we have about 1.5 inches of airspace left. Our shrimp do need an air gap. That's where their oxygen is stored at. These guys have evolved to live in very low oxygen environments, so they do not need as much oxygen as their cousins, the red cherry shrimp, which need an aerator, and they could never be in a container like this. That's why we can do this with our Opae Ula shrimp, is because of how they evolved in nature. So now that we're sitting here, as you can see, it's cloudy. Like I said, it's gonna clear up in about 24 to 48 hours. So at this point, what we can do is we can get our Kato, Chato, whatever you wanna call it. I'm gonna call it Chato. And we're gonna open this up like so. You can pour the water that it comes in into here so long as you have the space to do it. And we're just gonna go ahead and knock it in like that. It does not adhere to anything, so it's just gonna be a free floating plant. So you can even use your little shovel to move things around. Try not to use your hands once the water has already been added. We don't know what perfumes, what lotions, oils we have on our hands, so please use your tools at this point just to make sure that you are not putting in anything that will potentially harm your shrimp. Coming back to our shell that I was talking about, remember those air holes, folks. So what I can do here is I can take some of that water and I can pour it into my shell like that. I'm just gonna drop my shell down in there once I realize it does not have an air gap, and it should sink immediately. If it does not sink immediately or it's sinking slowly, you most likely still have air in that shell. Make sure to get that air out. So now that we have our shrimp ecosystem built here, we have our Kato, Chato added, what we're going to do, it's time to add the shrimp. So like I said, they're gonna be in this breather bag, which allows oxygen in, carbon dioxide out. So you're not gonna have a huge bag of air in here if you get it and you're like, wow, why was this sent to me like this? It was done on purpose. So just make sure you're aware of that. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna cut where there's air. A lot of questions we get, is the water cycled? I'm gonna make it easy for you. We're giving you water from our culture, so yes. For those that are asking, technically it is cycled, but with these guys, we don't typically cycle because they're not your freshwater shrimp companions. All right, now everybody should be in there. Oops, we still got a friend in there. If you have too much water now, what we're gonna do is we are going to painstakingly remove some, or get yourself a handy dandy turkey baster and you can remove it that way too. But we wanna make sure we have about an 1.5 inches of airspace for them. Turkey baster. Suck out that water. Make sure you don't suck out your shrimp on accident. All right, so now that our shrimp have been added, we have our macro algae, which is the Kato, Chato. We're gonna go ahead and get our lid added. Oh, no, we're not, because we need to add a little algae in there for our shrimp. And I forgot to mention this in the beginning, I was too excited, but you'll also get this spirulina algae and a little toothpick so that you can feed your shrimp. So it's gonna be this tiny vial of algae powder. These guys are very efficient grazers. They do not need a lot of algae at once. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get that toothpick nice and coated. And what we're gonna do is we're going to just dust it. We want the finest dusting of algae in there. You're gonna do this every 2 to 3 weeks until you're done with this. How's that sound? Pretty easy? I think so. Once you've added your algae, we're gonna go ahead and seal her up, and we're gonna leave her sealed for the next 2 to 3 weeks until we open and give some more algae to our shrimp. So if you were lucky enough to get one of our first ever shrimp kits, hopefully this video makes it a little bit easier for you guys. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. Otherwise, keep an eye out for our next drops. We currently have our next drop set for July 30th, 2026. We'll be doing much more after that. Thanks, guys.